Okay, and now in Arduino part we are next going to see how these MQTT publishing messages, sending the messages to MQTT broker is happening. So what we have done earlier, we learned how to get up the system working, get to IP number, and now we are going to see how we connect to MQTT broker and send the MQTT messages to MQTT broker. Sending MQTT messages is also quite straightforward, and as the Ethernet library and the MQTT library PubSub client, they are C++ class libraries. First we create the object about those of the libraries. So in here we create the Ethernet client object, and here we create the MQTT client object. And as a parameter for the MQTT, we will give the server IP number, the port number, that 1883 is the default value for MQTT protocol. And then there will be the callback function if we receive some incoming messages, and here's the reference for that client, that library object. And then when we will have those objects available, hereditated libraries, then there is one function. Connect is the function that will connect our Arduino to MQTT broker. So after that, the connection is available for the timeout period. And for the connection, we will give some kind of ID information to our client ID, device ID, and device secret. So these are the parameters that we have to give to the function. And when the connection is established, then we are publishing the message, sending the messages, and that is done with this publish function. And the parameter for the publish function are the topics and the message itself. In here, this is the topic and this is the message. It's in the message itself is inside this character array. And here we can see what are the real life parameters for our exercise. So the server address, in our case now we are using the virtual machine, so this is the thumb IP address. So we will give our MQTT broker address is in fact thumb IP address, but there will be this port definition 10884. So in our system there is such routing that with this port number the MQTT message will be delivered to our right virtual machine. So in this case, because now we are not doing this in the laboratory, we are doing the exercise outside from the thumb, so we need the thumb IP address and then the port number, which will guide our message to right virtual machine. And then there will be this callback function. This function will be called if we receive any messages. But in our exercise we are now only sending messages, so this callback function is basically not called unless you create some your own functionality that will also send messages to your client. But with the Mosquito, for example, you could send messages to your client. But in our exercise we are not using this. And that was that Ethernet object here. So this is the server, IP number, port number, callback function, and the object of Ethernet client. And then I mentioned that there has to be these IDs. So these are the device ID, client ID, and device secret. So most important is here that create again some random values here, so it's not allowed to be same IDs in our system. So each team do need to have a different ID here for the device ID and client ID. The device secret could be same for all the teams. And here is the connect function, and we give the parameter as this client ID, device E, and device secret. And after this function, then we should have a connection to MQTT broker, which will last this time. The connection will be valid on this timeout time, which in our case there is a default value for that. And then the sending is done by this publish function, and the first parameter for that function is the topic, and the next parameter was that message. And in our case now, in this example, the message is inside this character array. Message is in this example is only my data, only few ASCII characters, and here is defined the topic, and in this case it's my topic. And then if we call this function, then the message MQTT message will be sent to our MQTT broker. And here is example that if we are sending hard-coded message, so it means that in here the topic is the word, and the message is that temp equal 12.3. Here we are going to use this. Here is the char array that we are using to contain the message and the defined topic, and this example is hard coded. But this is basic C++ programming. And if we